To be fair, I get pinned by big sweaty guys, but I get paid millions of dollars. When you do it, it's just for like Waffle House and a ride home.
If you want to enter our new Xbox and PS5 giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment. We'll be picking a subscriber to win out of the comments. Not everyone gets to be an R-Truth. Sometimes WWE wrestlers spend their entire careers playing a serious, a stoic, or just some sort of character that doesn't resemble their real-life persona. Some of the most serious on-screen characters have been portrayed by wrestlers who are actually very funny in real life. I'm the Wicked from Watch WWE, and here's 10 of the shocking, funniest WWE wrestlers in real life. Number 10, Bray Wyatt. I mean, should I be surprised that the most creative breath of fresh air on the entire company, like this decade, is funny? Maybe not. Bray Wyatt has consistently played some of the most dangerous and demented figures in all of pro wrestling. He made his debut as the leader of the Wyatt family, a backwater cult that took no prisoners. He eventually turned into the Eater of Worlds and new face of fear before debuting its most horrific creation yet, The Fiend. And while the Firefly Funhouse version of his character is all fun and games, it's very easy to see something extremely dark lurking behind the shadows. Wyatt's always been a great character worker, a man who could definitely crack it in Hollywood if he wanted to, and has consistently proven it with a number of serious evil manifestations of the Bray Wyatt persona. But outside the ring, Wyatt has repeatedly proven himself to be an extremely entertaining presence, whether it be the presence of a talk show host or just on social media itself. Wyatt has come across as a laid-back guy with a quirky sense of humor. If anything, that makes Wyatt's in-ring persona all the more impressive, as he uses that same sense of humor to create these insane characters that are nothing short of sinister. Number 9, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's played the role of heel and face on multiple occasions during his time with the Big Dub. He easily could have been a main event talent in the promotion had a couple poorly timed injuries not convinced the promotion on pulling the plug with him altogether. Ziggler's always been a great company man, making the most of whatever role he was given on weekly programming, but regardless of his character, Ziggler has consistently come across as intense and almost overwhelming on the mic. He seldom seemed laid back or even like a guy who would kick back and just relax for a little while, which is super ironic because on the side, he's a literal stand-up comedian.
To be fair, I get pinned by big sweaty guys, but I get paid millions of dollars. When you do it, it's just for like Waffle House and a ride home.
Number 8, Kane. Kane is one of WWE's greatest big men of all time. I think we could pretty confidently say that and give Glenn Jacobs such credit. From the moment he made his debut, he firmly established himself as this terrifying, truly intimidating, fiery, big red monster. He's the big red monster. He is one of the most horror movie characters in all of professional wrestling history, and the man himself is a goon. The WWE Universe has witnessed Kane's comedic side in the past, Team Hell No and all that malarkey, but that could have been chalked up to some strong work from WWE's creative. A sentence I'm not known for saying. However, the man behind the gimmick is pretty far from anything resembling the devil's favorite demon. He's got a reputation as one of the nicest guys in the business, but also one of the biggest jokesters. In a segment that saw Kane and Taker cut a promo on Shawn Michaels and Triple H, the dead man uttered an expletive because he lost his concentration. Kane doesn't miss a beat and responds with a DX crotch chop. It is perfect proof of a guy always ready for the laugh.
Having to hug it out in front of 16,000 in Chicago and millions at home. And there it is.
Number 7, Roddy Piper. Widely regarded as one of the greatest talkers to ever enter the squared circle, Roddy Piper's promos are always powered by a crazed, maniacal energy that made him compulsively watchable and ridiculously entertaining. He made a habit of saying outlandish things with a straight face and put his opponents down and put over younger stars with ease. Fans of the product are familiar with Piper's promo style, with his voice climbing up and down a ladder of octaves. Before he made it big in WWE and gave birth to the Piper's Pit, however, Piper first caught the eye of bigwigs in the industry with his ability to entertain, joke, and especially mock around on the microphone. All of that could have just been called eccentric, but Piper was actually a really funny man behind the scenes. His perfect example of a sense of humor was the 1988 sci-fi horror classic They Live, with the iconic line that some people just don't even realize is a Roddy pissing Piper quote.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Number 6, Samoan Joseph, not the big dog one who's scaring Paul Heyman every week. Samoa Joe. There's some wrestlers that just have that presence, a certain indefinable quality that just makes someone in attendance believable. Samoa Joe has that presence in spades. He's one of WWE's most intimidating superstars. His size, his character work, his damn promo ability makes him one of the promotion's greatest performers. Absolutely no questions asked. There's no doubt that he'd be a main event mainstay if injuries hadn't consistently halted his momentum in the company. Joe is also an exceptionally nuanced performer, however, as he's proven to be surprisingly cerebral during his time with the promotion, mentally tormenting opponents like AJ Styles in the past. Joe's proven he's got wit behind the mic, but away from the ring, he's just a blast. Joe's one of the guys who's always on Xavier Woods' YouTube channel, Up, Up, Down, Down, and honestly, that whole channel should just be this list.
And to each of the competitors, Uzi, AJ, Kazi, who's the other one? Kofi. Oh, I always forget about him.
Number 5, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's been nothing short of dominant as the WWE champion. Ever since he made his return to the company a few years ago, it's been painfully obvious that the Scotsman finally found the tool belt, the completing buckle to put all the pieces of this man together. McIntyre comes across as an extremely believable bat, which has a lot to do with his size and overall look, and especially facial hair. He also genuinely seems to be having a great time as the WWE champion. It's really simple. They just let him show his personality. He's such a relaxed, cool, likable, funny guy. What is this Scottish psychopath that him and Shane McMahon are boys and Dolph Ziggler? Stop. Just let Drew be Drew and look at what happened.
Mr. McMahon had sat there and he took the roster list, went through it and went, I like that idea. Gender Drew McIntyre.
Number 4, Braun Strowman. When Braun Strowman first made his WWE debut, he was exceptionally green inside of the ring, and they almost put him in a match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Ha! But to his credit, he put in the work, creating a massively entertaining moveset that made great use of his strength and surprising athleticism. He also got into great shape and quickly became one of the biggest stars in the promotion. He was massively over with fans who loved seeing him run through the competition and flip over trucks with ease and "I'm not finished with you." Strowman's intensity was unmatched, but as it's the case with a number of big men, his character was watered down the second he turned babyface. Some fans were furious with his booking to win the Raw Tag Team Championships with a 10-year-old and frustrated when he randomly started dancing with the New Day. Felt unnecessary, felt canny, not true to his character, which had room for humor. We saw that with the romance of Alexa Bliss during the MMC. But since, Strowman has been pretty serious as he's kind of fallen back to that human wrecking ball, especially post-Universal Championship. But his social media tells a different story. On Instagram, Strowman can be seen posting goofy pictures and just generally trying to have a good time.
Oh my goodness. Braun Strowman, get these hips!
Number 3, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is currently one of WWE's most despised heels. As the Monday Night Messiah, Rollins has dedicated himself to trying to blind people and ruin a Mysterio family, and as a face, Rollins was usually portrayed as just a straightforward stand-up dude, hell-bent doing the right thing, even if it turned the fans against him, with, the whole Fiend debacle. Rollins also did himself very few favors by defending WWE with a very strong heart on social media a very large amount of times. Fans didn't take too kindly to his comments, which necessitated his transformation into the Monday Night Messiah. But when Rollins isn't throwing shade at the independents or at marks on Twitter, he's usually seen posting really funny, quirky photos on his Instagram. A number of pics of him as a member of the Shield also had him throwing up some goofy faces, and between Dean Ambrose's lunacy and Roman Reigns' stoic presence, Rollins was mostly expected to play the straight man in the Shield. The characters he'd played in WWE have been in stark contrast to the man himself, however.
Who's in there, Kabuki?
Number 2, The Undertaker. One of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. I literally would love to see someone try and argue against that. For pretty much the entirety of his career, Taker was exceptionally committed to maintaining kayfabe, rarely giving fans a look at the man behind the gimmick. All of that changed, like real 180 changed with that Last Ride documentary though. Fans got to learn about Mark Calloway, not The Undertaker, after spending years seeing him play the dead man. It was almost shocking to see that Taker had a sense of humor. Like, this is an actual man with personality traits, and not character, but a personality. His segment with Kane in the promo on DX was hilarious, and he even gave fans insight into how he occasionally liked to screw around with Vincent Kennedy himself. When he was going into hip replacement surgery, Taker was extremely laid back, treating all his past injuries like a funny anecdote. It's great to see the man behind the gimmick who, despite giving his life to playing a brooding, supernatural Undertaker, he's just a man.
We have 3 words for you. Go yourself.
And number 1, Brock Lesnar. No, that joke's getting old. Big Brocky Brock is one of WWE's most dominant stars of all time. Ever since making his return to the promotion in 2012, Lesnar has been consistently featured as a prize fighter, hell-bent on collecting the biggest paycheck in the room, winning championships, destroying the competition, all the good stuff. There was little room for him to have any fun, but whenever he gets the chance, dude, Brock Lesnar is hilarious. From telling Paul Heyman to say something stupid to bopping him on the nose like he was a dog barking too loudly, to introducing the WWE Universe to Boom Brock, Lesnar is just always looking for ways to have some fun. He shared the ring with R-Truth of all people and went back to him after the segment and told the comedic star he wanted to work with him even more. Lesnar rarely gives fans a look at his life outside of that ring, but his burst of comedic genius has been very easy to see over the years.
My God.
I'm not going to tell him he's not a good dancer.
And those are 10 of the most shocking, funny wrestlers in WWE today. And, and Roddy Piper. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. After liking the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications, ring that bell.